Welcome, adventurer, to yet another review of the replica swords from World of Warcraft. Today I have with me the good old classical Footman equipment, the Footman Sword and the Footman Shield. We're gonna go through the lore, the size, fit and feel of these replicas. So let's not waste any more time and go. 3, 2, 1. A very quick intro for you right there. My name is Lucian and I have a passion for World of Warcraft. As you can see here, I bought quite a lot of these reviews and I do have a full-time job that supports the purchase of all these weapons. I have had a tough time finding some video resources for these replicas online, which is why I thought, well, you know what, let's make some video materials about these where I go in detail with in-depth reviews of these items. So I hope I can provide some value for you out there. I hope you comment down if you want something more or something less from these videos. I'm learning as I am posting these videos. So thanks a lot for coming here and seeing the videos. And let's go and look at the lore. Okay, so what I have here is basically one page, just this. And that's because both the sword and the shield are the basic equipment for the troops, for the footmen of the Alliance. There's nothing, extremely epic or extremely legendary about these, where they would have the big background story. This is just the standard equipment that you also see in the Warcraft movie. But Footman Sword and Footman Shield, Royal Footman Sword, Royal Footman Shield, the footmen were the basic infantry. They were the main line of defense against the horde. And you'll be seeing these in this exact shape and form in the movie. These are not the original items. They are some replicas, cheaper than the original, but still really good quality. We're gonna get there a bit later. What we know about these and about the footmen in general is they've been fighting, the horde at the invasion of the horde, and they were clearly overpowered. The human were definitely overpowered by the horde. What we know is the armor that they are wearing is hardened steel to be able to cope against the blows of the much more powerful orcs when they arrive to Azeroth. So in the Warcraft game, we have the Alliance versus Horde. Of course, the Footmen are a part of the human race, and then their opposite are the Grunts from the Horde. The Grunts are much more powerful. They're larger, they are more powerful, they strike harder, and they have much more armor. On the other side, so the Footman is weaker as a unit. On the other side, it's much cheaper to build the Footman. So you could maybe use, I don't know exactly, I'm just pulling numbers out of my head right now. Maybe 2 Footmen would be enough to kill a Grunt. I think. I don't know. Do we have some Warcraft 3 hardcore players here? How many footmen do you need to kill 1 grunt in Warcraft 3? Let me know. So this is the story in the film. Both the shield and the sword are the main equipment of the human footmen in the Warcraft film. So let's get there because this was the lore for it. Let's go and look at the items themselves. Go, 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 go. Can you imagine anyone I copied the go from? Put it down in the comments and then let's look at it. I will try to move the shield farther away. I have a very professionally made holder for this shield. It's a speaker. Let's have a look at the sword to begin with. I will move the shield out of the way so you have a good view of the sword. Let's measure it and see how this goes. The Footman Sword, starting from the tip right here, and all the way to the edge of the pommel, we are measuring it at 107.5 centimeters. So if you want the whole number, we are looking at 108 centimeters, just so you have the room for it. 108 centimeters at its longest. And then width, I can start from here, 23 centimeters, 230 millimeters. The grip over here, and I will give you some of my comments about the grip. Width in this direction, we are looking at 27 millimeters, and in height, it does start wider here and becomes much narrower here. So let's start with the narrow side. 26 millimeters at its narrowest, and here we're still on the blue side here. 35 at the at this, you know, wider part, and much less here on this side. I forgot the number already. How about the details of this? Well, starting down at the pommel here, quite a simple one. The entire sword is actually very simple, a very basic sword, but it's really well made. This is what I like most about it. It's very solid, made of solid steel. I will actually go and grab, I have a remote here. So this is metal, everything is metal, but let's see if this is magnetic. The crossguard is not magnetic, I can see. I have my Philips Hue remote here, which has a magnet in it. So, no, nothing here. Only the blade is steel. So, curious as to which sort of material this is. Probably is aluminum, but it's very cold to the touch. Very cold to the touch. So, starting here at the pommel, a very simple rhomboid form over here, going into our grip, which is very comfortable, a two-hand grip, although this is a one-hand sword, but we do have enough room for a two-hand on this one. A beautiful diamond here on both sides, a beautiful blue diamond symbolizing the alliance, with really good motifs on the cross guard and expanding here up towards the blade. Then we have a blade over here with a really nice fuller with good details on it, and etchings. These are carved into the blade, so you can have your nails into it, not super deeply, maybe 1/3 of a millimeter, so not much more than that. That's very shallow, but they are there. I forgot to measure the blade length in itself and the width of the blade. So if I start at the tip once again here, and I measure all the way here, that leads me to 78 centimeters. 78 centimeters. And the blade width, 6.3 centimeters. Yes. And the runes, I'll probably do some B-roll on this one while I talk, so then you can look at the detail in the weapon. I have my scale over here, and I know this is less than 5 kilograms, so I'll put it on my food scale. And we are weighing in at 2.2 kilos, 2,260 grams, 2,260, 70 now. So 2.3 kilos. Let's estimate it to 2.3 kilograms. Yes. This would be the sword. So now we've talked about the size, form. How about the feel of this? I will start with saying this is my absolute favorite sword in handling. And this is because it's so extremely light that you can do whatever you want with it. It's a one-hand sword, and it's actually my only one-hand sword from the... No, I mean, I have this one. Now I'm destroying the setup here. I'm gonna put it back. Okay, so I have this one-hand sword, which is the Lion's Fang replica of... They consider it a dagger, and size-wise, you would understand why this is considered a dagger. Strikingly enough, I think this one was 1.9 kilograms, or 1.7, I have the weight here. 1.5, 1.6, 1.6 kilograms, and this one is 2.3. So it's quite very close, but look at the length, the difference in these two, right? So I can manipulate this as I want. I just love the Footman Sword. It's just so comfortable to handle. And if you really want to go all crazy, then you're welcome to use this as a two-hander, and you're really going to have some effort because it's quite long. So you could use it as a two-hander. Amazing sword. Really nice. Really nice. And then let's now look at the Royal Guard shield. The Royal Guard shield. This is absolutely beautiful when you look at it, and then you can see some of the accents of the different light, but this is just pure dark silver with blue and with a very unique symbol never seen before in the Alliance representation, a lion. Crazy, right? Okay, let's have a look at this shield. This is actually a very heavy shield. This is, let's see. There's a tiny bit of magnetism. You know what? I do have a strong magnet here. Good to have stuff. So, not at all magnetic on this side. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. So I will probably have to research what sort of metal this is, because there's nothing magnetizing on this side. I do have, if you see how powerful this magnet is, I have the little clip here on the back side that I can use to hang it. Nothing magnetic here. Maybe this, yeah, maybe the screws here, of course, are magnetic. And down here. And here, but otherwise there's nothing that's magnetic. So this entire thing is made of aluminum, probably. Yeah, but good. Now we know. The shield, dimensions for the shield. Let's look at it. In height, I'll do this extremely accurate way of measuring it, and we are looking at 55 centimeters. 55 centimeters, an acceptable length. 55 centimeters. And then I turn it around on the other. Why don't I do it on this side? It's so much easier. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yes, 54.5 centimeters. So that was actually quite accurate. And I will go through the loops over here to measure the width of it. And it looks like here is the widest point, which is 43 and a half centimeters. Depth-wise, now I'll place it on this, so perfectly straight to the table, which gives me 12 centimeters in height. So the depth of this would be 12 centimeters, which is mostly the lion sticking out over here. We're gonna get to the details there. Build-wise, you will see in here that there's a classical shield setup. So one side where you would hold this harness, and then you would have your hand through inside of here. I'll take my watch out, and then you can see how this one actually works. Here. So you would hold your shield normally, and then I'll pick this up with the stand and everything. So you are ready for battle. Yes. This was the backside, so clear silver. If you don't get the RGB shades from it, it's just clear silver. On the front is also, it's a much darker silver. The lion is much darker. So we have these rivets going along the edges, and then the edge here is actually does become 3D and coming out at you, as well as the lion. So the lion, of course, with its hair and the mane and the fur, and a little more details for the alliance over here, as you can see on the sword as well. The diamond here, they kind of work well together. These are the details. What I think I like about this, it's very pleasant to the touch. This is beautiful. It feels like I have a pet lion and I'm petting it right now, because the material is just very smooth and it's very well finished. So this does really feel like proper metal shield. And if I were to take it on and just bang my shield with the sword, speaker alert, this might sound a bit high because of my microphone. So this feels really, you know, I don't get the same amount of primal energy and testosterone as I would with the Shadowmourne. I do get much more, again, Alliance City Boy vibes with this. How about some disadvantages? I cannot really find any disadvantages for the sword. This is so well built, the handle is well made, and it's I can't really figure out. This is some sort of plastic on the handle here, on the grip. There's no rubber on it, but it's a very nice and soft plastic to the touch. And then the rest of the sword is just magnificently built. It's very beautiful to hold and comfortable to hold at the same time. On the other hand, as beautiful as the shield is, it does not feel practical at all. Unfortunately, the feel and the fit of this is not that great. It's beautiful that you can adjust this belt over here so that it can fit your underarms. What is it called? Your forearms. So for example, for me it's a bit tight now, but that's just because I came back from training, so it's gonna be tight. But this just doesn't feel right. The shield has a tendency to slide inwards. So if I just have it hanging, it goes like this. It just slides on the inside. I would feel that it would be much better balanced if these were a bit lower down on the shield or something to make it more, or if these were more rigid. For example, in the shield that I have over here, the holder on this, instead of it being leather, it's very rigid. It's kind of like piece of metal that makes you hold it like this. So I think that would be a better fit, and maybe these holders being moved a bit lower down so you can better hold this. But this doesn't feel good to handle, and I was very disappointed by that when I first unboxed the shield and I was trying it on. It just was very anticlimactic. It was kind of a disappointment for me, because I would love to just go around the apartment and, you know, just like meet my friends when they come over. It's like, hey, you know, we do that, and I cannot with this. I cannot, because it's uncomfortable. The way it's made, it's not very inviting for you. Or if I do hold this, I need to constantly apply pressure with this side of my hand against here. And there's a bone over here in your wrist that kind of bangs against the shield on this inside here. So it feels uncomfortable. Again, probably you would wear this with gloves, and then you need a lot of wiggle room here where you hold the shield, but this doesn't feel that comfortable. One thing I do like about this is this hook, and I can always just hang it for display. For display purposes, this is amazing. I mean, I think it's one of my most beautiful pieces of armor here. You can also, of course, find the helm, the Footman helmet. I do not have that. You can also find the spear. I do not have that neither. I would really like to have that. It feels that the spear is the exact same quality as these, and if it is, then I'm really looking forward to having that, because it would be amazing. And regarding the fit and feel of that spear, I do not expect that it would be bad, because it's just a spear and it's quite long actually. It's very long. So that's my words, and this is my opinion about the shield for the Footman and the Footman Alliance sword. Now for the question that I ask at the end of every single one of these videos. Should you go and buy it? And my answer is, of course, going to be, it depends. But for these two, I think there's so much quality, and for the size of these, the amount of satisfaction that I would get for owning these is definitely on the plus side rather than on the negative. So very satisfying set to have if you have the opportunity to buy this, and if it's not too expensive. The sword is amazing to handle, and if I would keep one thing from everything, probably it would be this sword, because it's just neutral, simple, very, you know, wieldy. You can play around with it, and the shield just complements it really, really well. I think that's the conclusion for me. What do you think? Would you buy this if you had the financial possibility to buy this? Would you be a big fan of the shield and this sword? Let me know in the comments. You know what else you could write in the comments? Whether you like this format of videos, as I'm still learning, and whether you would like something more or something less from these videos. Otherwise, please comment if you have some extra lore bits that maybe I omitted, I forgot, or I just didn't find in this video. It would be amazing to build this community together. I appreciate every single comment from you. And of course, I will see you on the next video. Bye!